Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Here we go. Here we go. There it is. Yeah, YouTube's awake. YouTube is awake. Rockfin, what are you doing? Where you at, Rockfin? There it is. Rockfin was slower this time. Rockfin was a lot slower. YouTube was very fast. And I know there's a delay, but I have to see it or I don't believe it. What's up, everybody? Good morning to everybody who's in my time zone. It is morning. It is like 9. Sorry, I'm a little late. I was just getting things ready. And this is a little earlier for me. I know I was shooting for 9, but we're a little later. That's okay. It happens. Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are moms out there. Thank you for doing that. Thank you so much for being moms. That's awesome. I have a lot of Mother's Day wishes to spread around. With each passing year, more and more of my friends are becoming moms, and one of them just became a mom. One of my friends, her kid she's very, very new. I'm pretty sure her kid's like a couple weeks old. So it's her first Mother's Day. So that's exciting. Some of my friends have been moms for a little while now. My mom, of course, is I'm going to be talking to her later, wishing her a happy Mother's Day. I'll be talking to my grandmother later. And my mom's in grad school. Some of you guys know that, but if you didn't, I'm telling you now. My mom, she works at a university and decided just a few years ago that she not only was she going to finish her undergrad, because she just never finished her undergrad. She stopped a few semesters shy of finishing up. So she went back, finished her undergrad, and then decided, I'm still going. So now she's in grad school. And now she's in that moment where she's like, am I going to finish this degree before I retire? And I hope she does. I think I feel like she will. I'm rooting for her, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if she's reached the point where she just is totally ready to retire, she might just say, well, I'm going to retire. I don't know. But anyway, that's what my mom's up to. So happy Mother's Day to everyone out there who's a mom. My wife and I don't have kids. We don't. And I don't know if we're going to. I don't think she's super into the idea, which makes me also I'm not going to push for that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be like, wait, no, I insist you let me do this thing I'm probably for sure going to fail at. No, let me do it. Let me do this. I'm probably not going to be good at this. You're not sure. If she was all about it, I'd be in. If my wife said, I want kids, I think it's time, I'd be like, all right, let's do this. But if my wife's like, yeah, I don't know if that's the right thing, I'd be like, you're probably right. Probably isn't. If you feel that way, then that's probably the case. I feel like I would be I'd be a 2-star Yelp review dad. You know what I mean? I'd be about 2 stars. And the second star would be because he tried. The 1 star would be my actual performance. But the second star, they'd be like, he's trying. He means well. He loves us. And you know what? Maybe I'm kind of contradicting myself because I do think, and I'm basing this off of nothing, but I do think, again, no clue. For those of you who are parents out there listening to this, you're like, shut up. You have no idea what you're saying. You're right. I don't, but it's Mother's Day. And, so this is sort of something that is in the ethers today. So I'm talking about it. But I think that, I think 80% of parenting is just loving your kid and giving a shit. I think that's 80% of it. And then the rest is just you figure it out as you go. I could be totally wrong. And let me put it this way. That other 20% matters a lot. That other 20%, that's where there's a lot of room for error. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's no, loving your kids the 20%. And if you got that, that's great. A lot of people don't even have that. But the other 80% is all the stuff that, yeah, it's really easy to fuck that up. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. In fact, now that I'm saying it out loud, I feel like maybe that's more likely the case. Loving your kid, that's 20% of it. And if you don't have that 20%, then you're not going to have shit. You're just going to be, I mean, if you don't even care, well, then you're obviously you're going to be a terrible parent. And a lot of people, they've had that, which is, very unfortunate, you know. I didn't. I'm very lucky. My parents are great people. But anyway. So yeah, maybe I would get the 20%, but then everything else, like, oh, geez, he means well. 2 stars. Thanks for being my 2-star dad. You're welcome, not born kid. I guess I'm a cat dad. It's not the same thing. I'm not even gonna, yeah, it's not the same thing at all. I get that. Lucy's asleep on the chair though. And she's recovered, by the way. I know I've said it already, but I'll say it again. Lucy is recovered, which is wonderful. This is the patron stream, by the way. Did I say what it was? I don't know if I did. It's a little earlier than usual. I have some stuff going on later, so the patron stream is a little earlier than it usually is. I don't even know if I said what this is. This is the patron stream where I respond directly to stuff the patrons and Rockfin Premium members have submitted. If you want to join the Patreon, patreon.com/Ron Placone. For a give what you can level, you get all kinds of exclusive content. You get the replay of this stream and all patron streams. You get a patron Zoom show once a week. That's right. I do a Zoom show just for my patrons. And I don't wear my headphones, so they don't fall off my face. I'm not even wearing them for those Zoom shows. And I will make you a theme song. People have been enjoying those theme songs. And that's all for a give what you can level. There's no tiers. TIERS. I don't have those. It's just a give what you can level. So if you're on stable ground, got a little bit to spare each month that you won't miss, patreon.com/Ron Placone to get all that cool stuff. Yeah. All right. So let's go. We're going to go here first because this was actually emailed to me. And I'm going to be talking about this on the show more on Monday. Tomorrow I'm for sure going to be talking about it even more. But a couple of y'all have sent this to me, and I'm glad you have. So this is from Nikolai, and it says, for your Sunday show, telecom giants spent millions on secret campaign to influence the FCC's repeal of net neutrality rules. Yes, this hit the news last week. I think it was Thursday. And man, every digital rights activist in the freaking country was validated. So here's Nikolai's letter. I love your show because of its net neutrality and municipal internet part. That's what makes your show unique for me personally. Thank you for that, Nikolai. I appreciate that very much. Hopefully you'll get this in time for your Sunday stream. I did. On May 4th, the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, released a report. And it shows that in 2017, Big Cable ran an astroturfing campaign to flood the FCC with grassroots comments, quote unquote, asking for the repeal of net neutrality. The report is 40 pages long. So here's what happened. In short, and we're going to go to this document that Nikolai sent. In 2017, when they were working on the repeal of net neutrality, by they, I mean the Trump administration, FCC, they were trying to repeal something that 83% of the public was in favor of. 83% of the public's in favor of net neutrality. And the other 17% doesn't understand what it actually is, or they work for the big cable companies, because there's absolutely no reason why you would be against net neutrality unless you don't understand what it actually is and how it actually works. Or you work for the big cable companies, so you have money to be made. I've never heard a good faith argument against net neutrality. I've never heard it. Because it honestly doesn't exist. It just doesn't. Net neutrality, the government takes over the internet. No, that's not what it is. That's not what net neutrality is. It assures that the internet is a utility, so it has to flow like running water in our lives. Like it just has to flow. It has to free flow. Nobody can interfere. That's what net neutrality is. It designates it a utility. It doesn't mean the government takes control of the internet. That's not what net neutrality is. Well, net neutrality, we repealed it and nothing changed. No, first of all, tell that to some firefighters in California who their data got throttled by Verizon, and in a post-net neutrality world, they couldn't do anything about it. First of all, second of all, the reason you haven't seen the effects of a post-net neutrality world is because people have been battling it out in the courts, and states have passed their own net neutrality laws. My state, California, being one of them. They've been battling it out in the courts. So these internet service providers, the Comcast and AT&Ts in the world, they can't unroll anti-net neutrality packages to consumers because it's being battled out in the court systems. They don't know if they're going to get away with it, so they're not going to unroll it. So no, you haven't seen all the effects of a post-net neutrality world yet because people have been fighting for it on the front lines. Well, we never had net neutrality until 20. That's wrong. We've had net neutrality since the advent of the internet. We have always had net neutrality. It just wasn't an official law on the books until 2015. It was always a rule that people were expected to follow, but there was no law requiring them to follow it. And digital rights activists, myself being one of them, for years was pleading with the federal government to designate the internet a Class 2, a Title II designation, which makes it a utility so that net neutrality can be on the books. And they didn't do it. They're like, oh, no, they'll follow net neutrality rules anyway. Well, eventually, big cable realized they can make more money in a world without net neutrality. So they took the FCC to court and they won. But the court said, well, if you just designate the internet a Title II classification, then you can have net neutrality. Wink, wink. And what happened after that? Well, Tom Wheeler didn't really want to do net neutrality because he was a cable lobbyist himself. But people really rallied to the cause. They left so many comments on the FCC's website that it crashed. So we got net neutrality. What happened in 2017? Bringing you up to what Nikolai's referring here in 2017. Well, Trump's FCC wanted to repeal something that 83% of the country wanted. 83% of the country is in favor of net neutrality. And the people who aren't, I think it's because they think that net neutrality falls under one of the three things that I just mentioned, which are all not true. Net neutrality is not the government taking over the internet. That's not what it is. Net neutrality is not something we only had for a couple years. We've had it since the advent of the internet. You've not seen the effects of a post-net neutrality world because people have been battling it out on the ground level. That's why. It's not because net neutrality wasn't a big deal. It's because we fought back against big cable. Anyway, so what did they do in 2017 when they really wanted to unroll these anti-net neutrality packages? Well, they ran a freaking fake campaign. And they had a bunch of fake comments on the FCC's website. Fake comments, how U.S. companies and partisan hack democracy undermines your voice. So here's the meat of it. Fake comments corrupt the democratic process. This is from the report. So here's what they did. Public comments to be so important that the company spent millions. The big cable company spent millions of dollars generating more than 8.5 million comments, as they put it, to cover for FCC, provide cover to FCC Chairman Pai to repeal the net neutrality rules. So here's what the OAG found. Manufacturing grassroots support. In mid-January 2017, several days before Donald Trump was inaugurated, a document was circulated among a small group of senior broadband industry executives laying out a plan to overturn the FCC's existing net neutrality regulations. This document, obtained by the OAG in its investigation, proposed a campaign that would provide support for an anticipated FCC action to stop the current rule and initiate a new lawmaking proceeding. The action under consideration, including financing a campaign to collect and submit a high volume of comments to the FCC. The proposed campaign would also urge Congress to pass broadband legislation that would be more permissive than the repealed FCC rules. So they ran a bunch of fake comments. That's what they did. They ran a bunch of fake comments to make it seem like there was support for repealing net neutrality. Millions of fake comments. And by the way, when it initially happened, there were a bunch of us, because all of a sudden, all these comments showed up that were apparently in favor of repealing net neutrality. And they just showed up all of a sudden out of nowhere. And a bunch of us were like, this is bullshit. These are probably fake comments. People dove into it then, and they found out like a lot of these comments, they were from these weird usernames. Some of them were kind of oddly constructed, where it's like, I don't know if these are actual comments. And we were saying back then in 2017, this seems like bullshit. This seems like a propaganda campaign. Guess what? It was. We were validated. It was. And so thank you for that, Nikolai. And I'm going to be talking more about that tomorrow on Monday. But yeah, people have been sending that. I've been retweeting it. I mean, it's kind of gross that it happened, but at least every single digital rights activist, every single digital rights enthusiast, every single person that reports on these issues, even me, we've all been validated. We sniffed out that bullshit when it initially happened, and we were right. There were a bunch of fake comments trying to make it seem like there was actual support to repeal net neutrality. And these people who say the internet's gotten better since the repeal, what planet are you on? Do you know how severe the digital divide really is in this country? How about all the kids that couldn't? What about when we had Chase Roper on the show, the guy that used to work for Comcast, and he was saying how Comcast was selling blatantly insufficient internet packages to people, and it wasn't good enough for their kids to go to school. I pay for the top business level package that my cable company offers, and I still have lags on a regular basis. I do everything you're supposed to do. I reset. I do everything you're supposed to do to get the best feeds possible. I lag on a regular basis. I pay for the highest business account I can. They put these insufficient hotspots in different places where kids have to go to a parking lot to get internet so that they can go to school. Data gets throttled in very vulnerable situations, like people fighting a fire. Employees have been fired and laid off by these big cable companies. Internet's gotten better? No, it hasn't. No, it freaking hasn't. I mean, yeah, naturally it moves forward a little bit because that's just how it works. They're not going to be slower. They're going to get faster as the years go by. That's just how technology works. But as an overall structure, it has not gotten better at all. And what few victories there are, it's because of freaking municipal broadband. When you see people with faster internet in different parts of the country, it's because they have municipal broadband there. And it's because they're not relying on the big cable companies. I have to rely on a big cable company. I live in Los Angeles. And for a couple years now, I've been told how we can't afford something like municipal broadband. That thing that a town of 7,000 in Massachusetts was able to figure out, Los Angeles can't do that. Show business capital of the fucking world. Somehow they can't figure that out. Los Angeles, one of the richest cities in the frickin' world, in a state that has the 5th highest GDP in the world. They can't figure out municipal broadband here. We can't figure it out here. We can't possibly figure out what Chattanooga, Tennessee could pull off, or what Sandy, Oregon can pull off. Can't possibly figure that out in Los Angeles. God, it's so frustrating. And then you go to these neighborhood meetings with a bunch of people who don't understand what you're talking about and don't want to. God damn it. I woke up in the best mood, and now I'm in a shitty mood. Thinking about that makes me so frustrated. God damn it. Anyway, we need municipal broadband now. Anyway. So there you go. We should reinstate net neutrality at the federal level immediately because guess what? All those comments were fake. It was a bullshit thing that they did. All right. So let me go over to some of the other stuff y'all are saying. Zubaz, what's up, buddy? One more week, Ron. Studying for an important exam. Oh, wish me luck, dude. Good luck, Zubas. I'm rooting for you. Thanks for being you. Thank you for being you. You crazy Yinzer bastard. That's me. Go Wings, go. How are the Wings doing, man? Are y'all? I know that the playoffs. I guess the Pens might have clinched home ice. I mean, I watched the game yesterday. They won. But I think they needed a couple other things to fall into place to for sure have home ice, and they're a couple games ahead of some of the other teams. So I hope the Pens get home ice. If they don't, they don't. But if they do, that'll help them. They've been playing good at home. I think home ice throughout the playoffs would be definitely a good thing for them. As far as the rankings, I don't really care that much because any of those teams are just brutal. Like, they're all good teams. New York, Boston, Caps, all incredible team. So no matter who the Pens play, they got their work cut out for them. And so does the team they play. The Pens are a good team too, you know? So I have not been paying as much attention to the other divisions. I don't know how your Wings are doing, Zubas, but maybe we'll see each other for the Cup. Who knows? Red Wing, Pens, those are some good Cup matchups. Saw a couple of those over the years. One time the Red Wings won, one time we won. Or the Penguins won. I feel weird saying we when it's a sports team I like. I know people do it, but I try not to do it. Sometimes you just naturally do it when it's a sports team you root for, but it's kind of strange. You don't play for them. Like, yeah, we're a good team this year. Oh, you're on the team? What do you do? I watch it on television and I yell encouragement at the TV. They hear me. I'm part of the team. If I don't wear my lucky shirt, I don't have one of those, by the way. I mean, sometimes if I can, I'll wear, a Penguin shirt while I'm watching a Penguin, if I can, but I don't seek it out. I don't run and change. I'm not one of those people. Although yesterday, since it was the last game of the regular season, I did put my Penguins hat on, and I know only so many of you are hockey fans. I know that's only because I get. It's almost really funny how low of engagement I get whenever I tweet about hockey. It's like almost non-existent. It's almost like I feel like some of you have you have sensors on where it's like if Ron's tweeting and the word hockey's in there, mute it. Can you do that? Like, you don't mute an actual user, but you mute like a word. I know you can mute like certain words. So I guess you just mute the word hockey. I don't know. But yeah, I get it. Not all of you are hockey fans. Some of you are. Not all of you. I just bumped the mic. Sunday morning, as Nancy Pelosi would say. It's Sunday morning. So Zubas, good luck on your exam. And I'm not sure the status of your Red Wings, but if they're moving on up, good luck to them. Unless, of course, they're playing the Penguins in the Cup. Then I'm rooting for the Penguins. If it's going to be first round against Boston, I'm going to be in a house divided too, by the way. My wife is a Boston fan. She, she grew up in Massachusetts, so she's a Boston person. And, of course, I'm a Penguins person, so I grew up in Pittsburgh. So we will be a house divided if it's a Pens-Boston playoff series. And I guess we'll have to wager something. I don't know what. But we'll have to wager something. Probably dinner. Probably somebody has to do the dishes for a week or something like that. Yeah, it probably would be dinner because as far as dishes, because we both cook. Like, both my wife and I cook, so we pretty much take turns. And that's fine because there's some dishes that she makes really well that I really like, and then there's some dishes that I make really well that she likes. So we take turns. So I don't think we would want to be, you have to make dinner for a week. But dishes, none of us like to do that. And usually the way we do it is whoever cooks, the other person does the dishes. So if I make dinner, she does dishes. If she makes dinner, I do. I don't know why I had to explain that. I really didn't. I think you guys I could have just left it. Like whoever cooks, the other one does dishes. We get that, Ron. So like if I cook, she does. Yeah, you're really over-explain Magoo over here. You really we could put the rest together, Ron. We get it. You've really over-explained it now. Anyway, all right. So let's go over to Nina. Nina says, me scratching frantically at my skull during a bad acid trip, screaming, let the bugs out. Welcome to my nightmare. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is creepy. I'm getting itchy just looking at this. Trillions of trillions of cicadas are about to emerge after 17 years underground. I am seriously itchy. Films about invading insects have been scarring moviegoers for decades, but now a real-life insect invasion of what are called periodical cicadas will put Hollywood to shame by its sheer size and scope. Over the next few weeks along the East Coast and Midwest, the cicadas will emerge from the ground, shed their skins, and partake in a month-long mating ritual, making quite a scene. Oh my God, there's going to be cicada orgies everywhere. There's going to all these cicadas just boning out in the streets, not caring. The humanity. All right, so they're going to be climbing trees. They're going to be singing mating songs as loud as 100 decibels, the same intensity as a jackhammer. It's going to be a pretty big event. We're talking trillions of cicadas. They're going to be emerging, singing, calling, finding mates in your backyard, said Dr. Jessica Ware, an etymologist at the American Museum of Natural History. There are over a dozen known broods of cicadas in the U.S., categorized by when they emerge together from the ground. Brood X, more like brood triple X. They're about to have an orgy, am I right? But they're considered one of the largest, and they make their appearance like clockwork every 17 years. Well, that's good that this is just a standard thing and not, it's good this isn't like a climate change disaster. You know what I mean? Like, it's good this is a standard thing that happens and not, yeah, the cicadas, they feel like they're dying off because of climate change. So they all decided we need to go to the surface and just bone one last time. Usually we just hang out in the ground doing cicada stuff. But the world, the planet's collapsing. So we need to have our cicada orgy. One more time, baby. One more cicada orgy. Cicada orgy, my new band also. So there you go. If you're in the East Coast or the Midwest, you got that to look forward to. Bunch of cicadas making noise, singing songs. Some of them are probably going to be publicly intoxicated. And you're just there's going to be a bunch of DUIs. Basically, they're going to turn the entire East Coast and Midwest into Daytona Beach spring break with their cicada sex orgies. Thank you for sharing that, Nina. I'm excited about this. I don't think I live near it, but yeah, if I did, I'd be like, all right, cicadas, I respect your right to do your thing. Nina, you also send this. John Gray on Cats and the Meaning of Life. Philosophy is a symptom of the disorder it pretends to remedy. Ooh. So this is a cat story, and you know me. That's right up my alley. Why cats may have more to teach us about living the good life than Socrates. Or do you say Socrates? That's from Wayne's World, right? Where he said, Socrates, bro. That's Wayne's World, isn't it? Or is it a different movie? I haven't seen that movie in years. It's been so long. Such a good movie, though. God, that was such a great movie. I miss the 90s in some ways. Yeah, you know what? No, I think it's so weird. I was actually talking about this with a friend last night. It's weird that some people from my generation, we get nostalgia for the 90s because the 90s was not our era. But because there was just so much cool shit in the 90s, we get nostalgia for it anyway, even though it wasn't our era. Because it wasn't my era. Like I get nostalgia for 90s music and just 90s movies and stuff like that. But it's not like this was the time in my life where I was crushing it. It's not like, oh yeah, this brings back all those awesome memories of dial-up internet and not having a girlfriend and really bad acne. Rockstar life for Ron. This reminds me of all those awkward moments in middle school. Like, oh man, yeah. And I was so awkward in middle school. I wore oversized band T-shirts everywhere, and that was just how I dressed. I had on oversized jeans because baggy jeans were the thing to do back then, and an oversized band T-shirt. I was basically swimming in my clothes, which really, really helped cover up how short I was, by the way. I was also a lot shorter than a lot of the other kids. I always have been. I've been short my whole life. So it's good that I wore these big ass clothes. But here's the reason. I would have liked to have had smaller t-shirts, but where I would go, keep in mind, this is before you could just order whatever you wanted off the internet whenever you want it. So to get band t-shirts, I would have to either go to a show, which didn't happen all that often when I was only 12, or I would have to find them at a record store, which used to be a lot more prominent than they are now. And you would go to these record stores, and there would be a lot of them were chains, even like the National Record Mart. That used to be a thing. Waves. There was this store called Waves. God, all those stores, they all just went under. But you would go there and they would have a t-shirt section and they would all sell the same 10 t-shirts. There'd be a Nirvana t-shirt, a Stone Temple Pilots t-shirt, a Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt. The band Bush, if you remember Bush, there'd be a Bush t-shirt, a Green Day t-shirt. That'd be about it. And you would get as many of those t-shirts as were applicable to you. I had multiple Nirvana t-shirts, but they were all, like 3 sizes too big for me. Because that's the only, they would sell one size. They would just sell like an adult large. And I'm like this like 4'10", douche. I was a small kid. So I would just swim in these t-shirts. I would just swim in my clothes. I'd have these baggy. I had the Jankos. Remember Jankos? I had those. I had Zones. Remember Zones? Zones were like Jankos. They were like generic Jinkos, basically. I wonder if that place is still around. I swear we're going to talk about cats in just a minute. How did we get off on because the Wayne's World? Yeah, all right. I'm making the connection. I have to Google this, though. All right. Zones. Is it still around? Oh my God, they're still no, they're not. Yeah, no, they're not. ZONZ. Yeah, you can only get them at like wow, they're considered vintage jeans. You can buy them for $100 on eBay? What the I gotta see if we still have my Zones jeans. You know what? Today is Mother's Day. I'm gonna talk to my mom, and I'm gonna say, "Mom, remember those jeans?" You said they call them vintage, first of all. God, that makes me feel old. Ah, that's depressing as hell. Vintage fuck. All right. I'm gonna click on this link. Zones jeans. You've got to be kidding me. They're $100. I guess they don't make them anymore. I guess Zones is a Z-O-N-Z. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Maybe it was pronounced Zons. I don't freaking know. But anyway, all right. Let's talk about cats. Enough about the Zones jeans or Zons or however. The jeans I used to wear are vintage now, and they're $100. Lucy, my jeans are not worth the money. The jeans I buy now don't cost that much. Anyway, this isn't a beer, by the way. This is a grapefruit sparkling water or whatever the hell you call. I don't even like those things that much. I use them. I make vitamin drinks with them, which is what I'm going to do after this. But anyway, all right. So we're going to do this now. I swear. Why cats may have more to teach us about living the good life than Socrates. Who says the unexamined life isn't worth living? Not cats, according to the philosopher John Gray. So Socrates is credited with saying the unexamined life is not worth living. And for centuries, human beings have looked to philosophy as a way to contemplate and potentially even answer many of life's biggest, toughest questions. Why are we only born to die? What is the meaning of existence? What constitutes a good life? I feel like I can answer one of those. What constitutes a good life? I'm going to paraphrase Harvey P. Carr. Life is about love, gigs, and being creative. That's Honestly, I feel like that's the answer. And that can be interpreted in different ways, you know? But I feel like that's kinda like the best summary I ever heard. The other 2, I don't know. Why are we only born to die? I don't know. I don't know why we die. I don't know, and I don't know why we're here. I have no idea. I think that at the end of the day, if you have to sum it up in one sentence, you're given this one chance at life, and it's a beautiful thing. I think the world, in many ways, throughout all its flaws, and there are many, I do think that the world is still a beautiful, amazing place. I think the fact that we can love is like, have you ever thought about that? Like, we are these flawed creatures who have no freaking clue why we're here, how we got here. We're, but we figured out how to love each other. Like we figured that out. Like we just kind of had that. Like we naturally started doing that. And I don't mean love like the way the cicadas are having a bunch of orgies. I mean like love, like the bond of love. You know, the family love, the love for your mom or, your kid. Again, happy mothers, bringing it back. A lot of the themes throughout on this stream. But so anyway, but as far as like what is the meaning of existence? I think at the end of the day, it's like you're given this one shot at life. You're here for a blip of a moment. And you just try to do the best you can. You try to put something good out there and you try to make sure that you leave it a little bit better than how you found it. You do everything in your power to do that. I think that's it. I mean that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to make sure that when my time is up, I want to be able to say, "Hey, I did everything in my power to try to leave this place a little bit better than how I found it." I don't know if it'll be the case. It might not be. It might be even worse than how I found it. I don't know. But all I can do is try. All we can do is try. There's generations of people that will not be able to say, I left the world better than how I found it. But a lot of them will be able to say, I tried. I did everything in my power. And that's the best anyone can do. That's the best anyone can do. And when it's my time, will I be able to say, I don't know. Maybe the world will be a little better than how I found it. Maybe it won't be. But as long as I'm able to say, hey, I did everything in my power to put something good out there and to make this place a little bit better than how I found it. And I tried my best and I did everything I reasonably could. Then that's, and that comes in many different uh ways. I mean, it doesn't have to be on a mass scale. Maybe you just made somebody's life a little bit better. Maybe you just made people a little bit happier. Maybe you just, maybe you help people in your job. Maybe you raised a great family and they're doing amazing things. And they wouldn't be in this world if it wasn't for you. I mean, that's incredible. Anyway, all right. So that's my answer. Anyway, according to the British philosopher John Gray, cats can often teach us more about living the good life than any philosopher ever could. So he has this book called Feline Philosophy, Cats and the Meaning of Life. Gray examines the nature of our philosophical pursuits and finds them wanting. In humans, discontent with their nature seems to be natural, with predictably tragic and farcical results. The human animal never ceases striving to be something that it's not. Cats make no such effort. That's a good point. Free from the burdensome questions about death, love, mortality, and the meaning of life, cats instead exist simply to serve their most immediate needs and keep themselves safe from danger. Gray spoke to, all right, I like that. I mean, that's true. Cats, and here's a cat, according to this description, sitting blissfully on the ground, enjoying an unexamined moment. Yeah, that cat, and some people might say that cat looks pissed off. No, that cat's not pissed off. If that cat was pissed off, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but their ears would be slicked back. Their ears would be like going back. They're just chill, and they got nothing to prove. And I think that's a pretty fair. They exist simply to serve their most immediate needs and keep themselves safe from danger. And you know what? And I know that this really shows how much of a cat person I am. They look out for you too. Your cats look out for you. They just do it a little bit differently than the way a dog does it. It's a little more subtle. But your cat, I do firmly believe, and I love both cats and dogs, by the way. This is not a competition. Um, but I do firmly believe that cats are every bit as loyal and affectionate as dogs. They just show it in a much different way. So it's not as apparent. A dog, it just does it in the literal sense. They listen to you. They're obedient. Cats, they're not going to be obedient. But cats, they have their own way of looking out for you, and they do it their way. And if you just take a minute to learn how they do things, you'll find out that it's all there. They're every bit as loyal as a dog is. It's just different. My cat Lucy, she's been my cat for a very long time now. Um, she knows when I'm sad and she acts a certain way. Like she knows. She can tell. She knows when I kind of just need her to be around for whatever reason, and she acts accordingly. That doesn't mean she's just gonna run on my lap when I just call her name. Sometimes she does come when I call her. Like I'll be like, Lucy, and she will, but it's because she wants to. So yeah, it's not as on the surface as a dog, but it's totally there. And if you just take the time to learn your cat's rhythm, which I think most cat people do, you find out that it's there. Um, but yeah, they're not worried about death, love, or mortality, or morality, or the meaning of life. They're just going with the flow. I feel like his whole thing, and this sounds really interesting. I'd love to read this guy's book. I'm sure it's really cool, but it kind of sounds like the Tao of Pooh. That book, if you ever read it, it's about like Taoism, and it's about how Winnie the Pooh was just living in the now. And Winnie the Pooh found the joy of just nothingness. Like there's actually a lot of joy in just chilling, really. Just, hey, I'm here and I'm letting life in. And I feel like those moments are really special. I mean, you think about moments in your life where, one of the things I try to do every day, I try to go for a walk on the beach every day. And when I do it, I try to just clear my head. And usually it doesn't work that way. Usually I'm thinking about different things. I'm working through ideas. I'm listening to music or a podcast or something. But I try to at least have one brief moment while I'm there where I'm just nothing. Nothing's on my mind. And I'm just letting go. And I'm just thinking, I could get $100 for the jeans that I wore in middle school. Those jeans that I wore, they're worth $100 now. I can get $100 on eBay for those. Isn't that the good life, man? My cat's not worried about shipping jeans from middle school for $100 though. She doesn't give a shit. She doesn't know money. All of her stuff gets delivered. Her food, her litter, it just gets sent to her. She doesn't have to worry about the inventory. She's just living life. She's just got to be like, I hope I don't miss a jump. I hope I don't want to injure myself. And when I do that, my human has a meltdown. My human cannot handle it. He loses his shit. But anyway, so thank you for that. John Gray, that book again is called Feline Philosophy, Cats and the Meaning of Life. I'm going to try to read it. Seriously, I'm going to try to read that. That sounds really interesting. I like that. Yeah, and it's kind of weird to think about. So we're let me know if anyone else has had this. I have had this thing where I'm excited for the world to reopen. Obviously, I think we all are. But I've been having like a little bit of anxiety coping with the reality that it is slowly coming back. You know what I mean? Like I've been having dreams. Like here's one I had literally last night. I had a dream that I was traveling And I was traveling with Graham Elwood, and, as I'm sure most of you know, Graham Elwood and I tour together. We do comedy shows together. So, traveling with Graham would not be an unusual thing for me to do, but I was traveling with Graham, and for some reason, I was at my grandmother's house, and this is my grandmother on my dad's side, who she is no longer with us. She passed away a couple years ago at the ripe age of 101, baby. She made it to 101. So she had an amazing life. Rest in power, Grandma. Um, and happy Mother's Day, of course. But so that is weird. Like the night before Mother's Day, I have a dream about my grandmother. But so I had a dream. I was at my grandmother's house, and Graham was picking me up, and we were going to the airport, and he overslept, which is not that's if one of us is going to oversleep in the morning, it's going to be me. I mean, Graham's a morning person. I am not. But in this dream, Graham overslept. And so I wake Graham up, and I wake Graham up, and he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, I got to come get you." And as he is coming to get me, I realize I don't have a bunch of stuff. I realize, like, I don't have a bunch of stuff with me. Like, I forgot the mask that I was gonna wear. I forgot some of my merch, and I'm just thinking, "Oh, shit." And so when Graham gets there, I gotta say, "Hey, can we go to my parents' house?" Because for some reason, I was at my grandmother's house, and then all my stuff was at my parents' house, which they live close to each well, they did. That house is no longer my grandmother's house. My family sold it, but my grandmother's old house was right near my parents' house. So I asked Graham, "Can we go back to my parents' house? I need to get a bunch of stuff." I've been having dreams like that. So it was like this anxious dream where we were going to be late and miss our flight. And I keep having those kinds of dreams. Like, I have a dream that, like we show up at a show and something's wrong at the venue, or I go to this thing, and yeah, I've been having dreams about, like, traffic, and they're like these anxiety dreams. So it's so weird that I do want the world back, but I've been having these, like, I've been having anxiety about it actually coming back. I'm like, "Oh shit, traffic in LA. How am I gonna handle this?" Isn't that weird? Like that's kinda strange. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because then it's like, as we've been going through this time, and I'm sure a lot of you felt this way, you probably felt like, "When did I ever have time for traffic? When did I ever have time for this? When did I ever fit this in?" And then you realize, "Oh, I had time for it because I spent less time exercising. I spent less time taking walks. I spent less time." You know what I mean? And you're kind of realizing, I'd rather have that. I mean, there's some things about this time that I don't want to go away. By the way, guys, before we sign off today, please smash the like button. We're almost at 100 likes. Please help me get there. Help me get there, this patron stream. We're almost there. We're at 85. Come on. Come on, just 15 more. Smash the like button. Have you done it yet? Please smash that like button. We're almost there. Let me go through the super chats. Let me see what all oh crap. Uh, what the hell? We got kicked out of Rockfin. Huh. All right. Okay. Well, that's weird. So we got kicked out of the Rockfin. I don't know what happened there, but we're not on Rockfin anymore. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. I don't know what happened there. All right. So, we made it. We made it. We made it to 100 likes. Thank you guys so much. And I don't know what the deal is with the Rockfin, but I think somehow something happened in my Rockfin browser. All right. Well, okay. Let me go to the super chat here. Farkas, what's up, buddy? What if you had a kid and it was a Republican? I know, right? What would I do? That'd be really rough. That'd be really, really rough. Yeah, like, what if you have a kid where you're, like, politically opposed? I mean, my parents and I don't agree on everything when it comes to politics, but it's basically like they're a little more just conventional, um, Democrat, and I'm kind of further left. So those are, like they're not like Trumpers or anything like that. They're kind of, I mean, they voted Bernie in the primary, and then we're like, well, we got to vote Biden. Which, I get it. So, but we have some disagreements. Like we have some just policy disagreements. But they're in favor of stuff like universal health care. So it's like, I mean, we definitely, in fact, I remember my dad told me he was in a debate tournament when he was in high school and they debated for universal health care. That's how long this has been going on in the United States, by the way. My dad, when he was in high school, was arguing for this shit. He was arguing for single-payer universal health care when he was in freaking high school. We're still fighting for it. Other countries figured it out decades ago. They figured it out decades ago. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I feel like we're a lot closer politically than further away, if that makes sense. But we do have some strategic disagreements. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I have some other like more distant, not well, I don't know but like outside of my immediate family, I definitely have some more like Republican folks there. But I don't really talk politics with that side of my family. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't really come up when we see each other. When we see each other, it's just like, "Hey, good to see you," because I see you like once a year at best. So we're not really gonna, whatever. Oh, we're still on. All right, so people are saying we're still on Rockfin. Let me try to. I don't know what happened here, but I just got like booted out of it. Here, let me try to refresh. See what? Yeah. All right, something's up. All right, something's up on the Rockfin. I apologize. I will figure it out later. Um, and if you left me a Rockfin tip, well, let me see if I can get back to it. Let me try to get back to it real quick here, folks. Sorry about this, but for some reason, I just literally got booted out of Rockfin. So let me see if I can do something about this. Um, all right, let's see here. Oh, here I am. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Uh, hey, Maris, thank you so much. I don't know how that happened. That was so weird. But yeah, we're still live. And yeah, sorry about that. Well, let me read the Rockfin chats since we got here. Um, let's see. What's up, Richard? Good to see you. Hey, Ron. Greetings from Shelly and Rich in Hull, UK. Keep up the good work, buddy. Thank you so much for that, Richard. And what's up over in the UK? I hope you all are doing amazing. And I can't wait to see you over there. I cannot wait to tour the UK. It's going to happen maybe in 2022, maybe in 2023, but definitely by 2023. If not next year in 2022, definitely by 2023, going to be touring the UK. And I don't know where Hull is, admittedly, but I can guarantee going to be hitting up London for sure, Manchester for sure, probably Reading, I guess, and then other places that want to bring me in. So I don't know anything about Hull, but if I should play there, email me, Richard, and let me know. I want to play there. I want to play Hull. I don't know anything about it, but yeah. And you're going to a Black Lives Matter protest. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very cool. Let's see. So thank you for that, Richard. Hey, Mares, what's up? Good to see you. Howdy, Ron. Wishing you all the best from the soon-to-be Locust Orgy Land. And you do a toast with a kitten. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're in the thick of it. And you say those are the worst, the non-prepared dreams. Mine is being shuttled to the airport with no time to pack. Yeah. Or do you ever have those dreams where like you're back in school and you have a big exam and you're like, I'm in school again. I'm not prepared for anything. Like, yeah, those like unprepared anxiety dreams. I've been having a lot of those, and it's all about, the world basically. So there you go. Let me go to the super chats here over on the YouTube. And thank you again to Richard and A Mares over on the Rockfin and over on the YouTubes. OG, what's up, buddy? Greetings and salutations. Greetings and salutations to you, OG. Thank you for keeping this show on the air. Farkas, what's up? Yeah, what if you had a kid and it was a Republican? Yeah, I know. What would I mean, I would probably accept their views. You know, I wouldn't not love them, but I would try to encourage them to consider different perspectives. I would try very hard to consider different perspectives. Wed Chat, what's up? Thank you very much for. Is that a cat? What is that drawing? It's very cool though. I don't know what it is, but it looks neat. Thank you for that, Wen Chat. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for your generosity. Podcast by George. You say the new Hold Steady album is great, and I freaking agree with you. I love the new album. What's your favorite song? My favorite song on it is Lanyards. They're all it was a really good album. I enjoyed it very much. It was I think I liked it better than Thrashing Through the Passion, and I really did enjoy that album too. I'm not saying, I've the only albums by them that I didn't enjoy as much is Teeth Dreams. I didn't enjoy as much as a lot of the other ones. I still enjoyed it, but it was not. If I had to pick a least favorite, that would be it. Um, but by a fair amount, you know what I mean? And it was still a good album, but it was, not my favorite. And if I had to pick a favorite, God, I mean, it's Separation Sunday, Boys and Girls, and Stay Positive. That's kind of that's the royal trio, like that, like that's the Trinity, baby. Um, but yeah, I really love the new one. I'm glad you're enjoying it, George. I really am. Um, let's see. Florin, what's up? Thank you very much for the super chat contribution and for the thumbs up. I appreciate it very much. And Gordon, let me scroll up so I can read yours. You just send me a pair. You know that I love the pairs. I love the pairs. Thank you for that. So thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Florin. Thank you, George. Thank you, Wenchat. Thank you, Farkas. Thank you, OG. And over on the Rockfin, thank you, Richard. Thank you, A. Mares. And to everyone who made the topics this week, thank you, Zubas. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Nikolai. Guys, this is the patron stream where I stream. It goes out to everybody. It goes out on Rockfin and YouTube to everybody, but then the replay is only available on Rockfin Premium or on Patreon. So unless you're a Rockfin Premium member or a patron, you don't get to see the replay. But you can change that right now. You can go over to Rockfin, sign them up for Premium, endorse this channel, or you can go over to Patreon, sign up, give what you can level to get all the perks of my Patreon, where I will make you a theme song. That's right. You can have your own theme song. Who doesn't need their own theme song? Everybody does. And you can get one. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. I'll write a theme song for you. You get the replay of this stream and all patron streams. And I do a patron Zoom show where I do a Zoom show just for Rockfin Premium and Patreon members. I do that once a week, and it's a blast. I work on some new material. I play a couple songs. We chat it up. It's awesome. You can get all that for a Give What You Can level. Give What You Can level. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. If you're on stable ground financially and got a little bit you won't miss each month, even $1 a month goes a long way. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. All right. So thank you again. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Florin. Thank you, George. Thank you, Wenchat. Thank you, Farkas. Thank you, OG. Thank you, A. Mares. Whiskey and a T-shirt. Thank you, Richard. Can't wait to see you over in the UK. And thank you, Nina. Zubas. Good luck on that exam, Zubas. I'm rooting for you. And thank you to Nikolai for this week's topics. And we're going to be talking more in depthly about what went on with those fake net neutrality comments tomorrow on the show on Monday. So I'll be back with an official Get Your News On with Ron stream on Monday. That's tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And in the meantime, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for being moms. Takes a lot to be a mom. How much? I don't even freaking know. I have no idea. I can't even giving birth. Holy shit. How do you do that? Well, I know how you, but you know what I mean? That is just wow. Wow. I mean, it's one of the bravest things in the world. I'm going to grow a human inside of me. Then I'm going to push it out. There's nothing more badass than that. There is nothing. Every mom should just be signing autographs everywhere they go. They should, hey, you grew a person and then pushed it out of you. Fuck. And I get it that a guy helps. I get it that. Do you remember when you first learned that? You know what I mean? Like do you remember? I kind of do. Like I kind of, cuz like, my neighbor was a girl and I'm a boy, and we were, we were like 5 years old, right? And she goes, "Ron, girls are better than boys." And I was like, "No, they're not. No one's better than anyone." See, I was very progressive for a 5-year-old. I didn't say boys are better than girls. I said, "No, they're not. Come on, that's not how." And she goes, "Well, no, Ron, I'm just saying girls are better than boys because girls have babies. What are you gonna do about that? Girls have babies." And I'm like, "Shit, that's some stellar logic. That's pretty, man. I don't know. Geesh, yeah, you guys make the people, and I'm 5, so I think it just sort of happens." That's what I used to think. I used to think it's like it just naturally happened, like you just became pregnant, like you would get married. It wouldn't happen unless you were married. I was 5. I didn't know. Like, I just thought that's like I thought every adult gets married. That's what every single adult does. Nobody doesn't do that. And then what happens is, unless, or if you don't get married, well, you're just not gonna have a kid then. It just won't happen to you because it just naturally occurs and it just won't happen to you. Man, what if the world where it really was that way? That'd be that'd be scary as shit. If you could just get pregnant for no reason. Like it just happens. And it's like, well, you have to. Do you want to have a kid? No. Well, shit, you're going. But again, I'm 5. I don't know that the world has problems. So anyway, I asked my parents later that night. I was just like, gee, I maybe girls are kind of better than boys because they have babies and stuff. Boys don't do that. And my parents said, look, it takes a man and a woman to have a baby. It takes, yeah. And I'm like, well, how does that work? And they're like, let's table this, but for now, let's just leave it there. It takes without, yeah, without some of the things that guys bring to the table. Yeah, that's how they. Again, I'm 5. They're explaining this to a 5-year-old, so they did a good job. They just said, look, it takes. It takes a man and a woman to do this, or some variation. Yeah, you get the idea. So then I learned that. I learned. I didn't know that. Then I learned it. I was like, yeah, we have a job, huh? We have a gig too. How about that? I play a freaking role in this. And having babies, turns out you choose to do that. You decide to do it. It was mind-blowing for me, really. I was just like, oh, so it doesn't just happen. No, it does. It's planned. Or, well, sometimes it's planned. Again, they're explaining this to a 5-year-old. They're like, well, yeah. It was all new to me. All new to me as a 5-year-old. I thought it was just something that happened. I didn't even believe the stork thing. Like I didn't think there was a stork. I just thought it just, yeah. Anyway, so good for me. Good for me learning that. It was a great lesson. Thank you again, Jordan, Florin, Podcast by George, Wenchat, Farkas, OG. Thank you again to A. Mares and Richard. Stay well, stay safe. And again, Nina, Zubas, good luck on the exam. And Nikolai, thank you for this week's topics. None of this would be possible without any of you. If you're watching this and you want to become a patron, patreon.com/Ron Placone. And in the meantime, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And you know the drill. Lucy, she says meow. And she says happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Oh, by the way, tomorrow on the show, one last quick announcement. Tomorrow on the show, I am going to start my thing where I acknowledge other people's pets when I'm doing the send-off. I tweeted, I said, hey, tell me about your pets so that other furry friends can say meow or woof or quack. Some people sent me ducks. They have pet ducks. So whatever animal you got. Or I think someone sent me a turtle. What does a turtle say? Cowabunga. Your pet turtle says cowabunga. I say peace. So you can find that over on the Twitter. I will be going through that Twitter thread slowly, and I will be giving other people's pets shout outs on the send-off. So tune in to potentially hear your pet. That's starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Jesse Jett's going to be on the show. The musician, the poet musician Jesse Jett. He's going to be on the show again. Love talking to that guy. He's on the show tomorrow. And anyway, in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow and happy Mother's Day. And I say peace and happy Mother's Day. Peace.